round of the 1985 World Formula One Championship brings the circus here to Detroit in the Round the Houses street circuit that runs round the Renaissance Centre in the centre of the city. It's a 2.5 mile circuit, very tight, very bumpy, with an average speed even slower than the Monaco circuit, because it crams 19 corners into its 2.5 mile length. After qualifying, Ayrton Senna is once more on pole position from Nigel Mansell, with Michele Alboretto's Ferrari and Alain Prost's McLaren on the second row. There is Senna on pole with Mansell behind him, 27 is Alboretto. It's a 63-lap race. At the start, Mansell takes a brief lead, coming past Senna and moving across to go ahead in his Williams Honda. In third place is Prost, in fourth place is Keke Rosberg, with Alboretto fifth. But very quickly, Ayrton Senna darts past the Nigel Mansell Williams and takes the lead, under-braking for this right-hander. Turn 3, which is going to play a big part in this race. So Mansell is second, Prost third, Rosberg fourth, Eddie Cheever in the Alfa Romeo has made a good start up to fifth. Senna immediately starts to pull away. But as Senna leads from Mansell, the man to watch is Keke Rosberg in the other Williams Honda. He's fourth behind Alain Prost's McLaren at the moment. Ghinzani crashes his Azella on the opening lap and is out of the race. Keke Rosberg goes past Prost into third place. So now it's Lotus, Williams, McLaren. Eddie Cheever is still fifth until Michele Alboretto's Ferrari goes by. Warwick's Renault is seventh ahead of De Angelis, Johansson, Piquet and Lauda. Keke Rosberg is soon past his teammate and up into second place. Ayrton Senna still leads. Keke Rosberg second, Nigel Mansell third, Alain Prost fourth, Michele Alboretto fifth. Eddie Cheever dives into the pits at the end of the first lap, losing his sixth place, which is inherited by Derek Warwick. Seventh is De Angelis, eighth Johansson, ninth Piquet, 10th Lauda, and 11th Teo Fabi in the Tolman. Manfred Winkelhock stops with mechanical problems in his Ram Hart. And now Keke Rosberg is right on the tail of Ayrton Senna, pushing him hard. Rosberg has gambled on starting on the slightly softer B compound tyres. Senna and everyone else is on A's. Stefan Johansson's Ferrari goes past Derek Warwick's Renault, and then we have a new leader. Keke Rosberg has passed Ayrton Senna and taken the lead. Clearly his tyre choice has been the better one. Nigel Mansell is still third. Senna comes into the pits for a change of tyres, but they haven't got any B compound tyres ready, so Senna gets a fresh set of A compound tyres and rejoins. De Angelis takes third place from Alboretto. The two Williamses still lead. Nelson Piquet comes in for fresh tyres, and after 12 laps, Mansell is 14 seconds behind his teammate Rosberg, with Alboretto 5 seconds behind De Angelis and Johansson 6th. Niki Lauda comes into the pits, and he retires. Alain Prost is passed by Stefan Johansson, but it takes Johansson a bit of time to get by, and he's almost pushed into the wall. He recovers and passes Prost's McLaren with ease. Part of the tyre barrier at turn 3 is in the middle of the road. It's been clipped by Ayrton Senna's Lotus, recovering after its pit stop. Patrick Tambay spins. Marc Surer just squeezes by. The Renault has a damaged rear end. Martin Brundle takes 6th place from Alain Prost's McLaren in his non-turbocharged Tyrrell, which is very quick round this tight circuit. Brundle was 2nd in this race last year. Derek Warwick parks his Renault. It has a broken drive shaft, so both Renaults are out. Then the second man, Nigel Mansell, spins his Williams. Alain Prost understeers his McLaren into the barrier at the notorious turn 3. Here we see it again. So now it's Rosberg first, De Angelis second, Mansell third, Johansson 4th. Johansson closes up to Mansell. And takes him, so that Johansson is now 3rd and Mansell is down to 4th. But still Keke Rosberg dominates the race from the front. However, he has a problem. Waste paper blowing around the circuit has lodged in the air intakes. Nigel Mansell has another spin. Ayrton Senna comes in for a second pit stop. This time they have some B compound tyres ready for him in the Lotus pit. The next casualty on turn 3 is Nigel Mansell's Williams Honda. As Senna goes on his way, Mansell's car is buried in the barrier, and Mansell has hurt his arm. Mansell is helped away by the marshals, clearly in considerable pain, but he pushes them away. Now Elio De Angelis is in the pits, losing second place. He's damaged the nose section of the Lotus, and in quite a long stop, rejoins out of the top 6. Then Martin Brundle falls foul of the Frenchman Philippe Alliot, who pushes him into the barriers while he's being lapped. Brundle was attacking Alboreto for 3rd place at the time. Rosberg's car is overheating because of the paper in the radiator ducts. He comes into the pits to have it removed. At the same time, the mechanics give him fresh tyres, and so the second place man, Stefan Johansson, gets extremely close. But it's a very quick and very efficient pit stop, and Rosberg accelerates hard out of the pits and comes out back onto the track just ahead of the second placed Ferrari. They're barely a couple of seconds apart at this stage, and Rosberg has cold tyres which he has to warm up. So for a while there's quite a battle for the lead. Ayrton Senna tries to take 3rd place from Alboreto, but he too ends in the turn 3 wall. It was quite an achievement to get back up to 4th place after 2 pit stops, and Senna has set a new lap record. But the winner is Keke Rosberg, as he reels off the closing laps with an enormous margin over Johansson, who is slowing with braking troubles. So Finland's Keke Rosberg wins the first Williams Honda victory since Dallas last year. Stefan Johansson's Ferrari is 2nd. Michele Alboreto's Ferrari is 3rd, just ahead of Beloff in the Tyrrell, with De Angelis 5th and Nelson Piquet 6th.
Come on, bloody hell.
Rosberg in the yellow, Johansson in the red, and on the right, Michele Alboreto. Alboreto now has a 7-point lead in the championship over De Angelis, 2 Italians at the head of the table, with Prost 3rd and Johansson 4th. In the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari have a 14-point lead over Lotus, with McLaren 3rd and Williams 4th.